Welcome to Deep Cuff Channel. Russia began preparations for a major attack on the Ukrainian army. Vladimir Putin wants to attack the Ukrainian army from the north, south, and east. Biggest weapon in Russia's inventory is on its way to Ukraine. In addition, Russian submarines are making important moves in the Black Sea. Ukrainian army, on the other hand, continues to defeat the Russian troops. Ukrainian army is on alert in the Bakhmut and Solder districts. Pakistan and Poland announced their critical assistance to Ukraine. Russia remains the largest arms supplier to the Ukrainian army. As a result of the operations carried out by the Ukrainian army yesterday, Russia lost 430 soldiers, 4 artillery systems, 1 air defense system, and 3 tactical unmanned aerial vehicles. Following these attacks, the Special Operations Command of the Armed Forces of Ukraine has released a new update on the fighting in the Solder region. Accordingly, the Ukrainian army targeted Russian soldiers serving in the Solder region with artillery systems and Tochka-U missile systems. It was reported that 85% of the Russian troops in the region were neutralized after the attacks. After these losses, Russia attempted to attack the Ukrainian army. Russia tried to attack many regions of Ukraine, especially Kiev, using tactical unmanned aerial vehicles and cruise missiles. According to sources in the region, Ukrainian air defense systems in Kiev succeeded in repelling the vast majority of Russian attacks. Unsuccessful in these attacks, Russia tried to activate its warplanes. According to the press service of the Ukrainian Air Force Command, Russia lost 1 Su-25 fighter jet and 1 Orlan-10 unmanned aerial vehicle as a result of the attacks. Success of the Ukrainian Air Defense Forces is admirable. Meanwhile, the Independent Institute for War Studies announced that Russian troops are planning to carry out attacks in the Bakhmut area. According to the statement made by the institute, Russia wants to use this place as a center for the big counter-offensive that it will launch by seizing the Bakhmut region in the coming months. However, this war analysis report also notes that the failure of the Russian military industry to address ammunition shortages will hamper the ability of Russian troops to support offensive operations in eastern Ukraine in 2023. Currently, it is stated that 75% of Russia's pre-war weapons and ammunition stocks are depleted. In this context, the point that analysts agree on is that Russia's greatest trump card in the war has become its greatest weakness. Before the war, Russia relied heavily on missile and artillery units. However, at this point, we see that the Ukrainian army crushed these forces. Also, temperatures in eastern Ukraine have been well below freezing in recent days. This situation greatly reduces the attack capability of the Russian army. Although Russia tries to overcome this situation with its air force and navy units, land forces are at the center of this war. In this context, according to the latest news from the region, Russia is sending a new T-90 tank convoy to Ukraine. In the videos that appeared on social media, it is seen that 10 tanks arrived in Ukraine one after the other. Ukrainian army is aware of this situation. In fact, some sources announced that Ukrainian army ground troops attacked this Russian tank convoy and captured at least 1 tank. These tanks will be a big problem for Russia as they will be used by the Ukrainian army. It is an important sign that the Russian army is sending these tanks to Ukraine. According to a spokesperson for the Ukrainian Defense Forces, the activities of Russian reconnaissance drones are proof that Russia is preparing for a new major missile attack on Ukraine. Natalia Humeniuk, the commander of Ukraine's Southern Defense Forces, also made statements in this context. It has long been known that Russia wants to carry out one of the largest missile strikes in its history to break the resistance of the Ukrainian army. Russia also seems to have started preparations for this attack. Having suffered significant losses on the front line, Russian forces have now deployed additional units of the world's most powerful mortars, capable of deploying nuclear warheads on the battlefield. 2 S-4 Tyalpan artillery systems, which means sledgehammer in Russian, were allegedly sent to Ukraine. This news was also confirmed by Russian sources. These systems will provide a much greater caliber firepower against the Ukrainian army. However, the X factor here is the operational capability and air defense systems of the Ukrainian army. Ukrainian army attaches great importance to the protection of the strategic areas it controls. Therefore, Russian attacks will fail. It is also claimed that Russia has deployed a total of 30,000 soldiers to the Luhansk region. These allegations were also officially confirmed by the head of the military administration of the Luhansk region, Serhiy Haidai. According to Haidai, the troops deployed in the Luhansk region consist of newly mobilized Russian troops. It is also alleged that the Russian tank manufacturer Uralvagon-Zavod is trying to speed up new tank deliveries. Uralvagon-Zavod reports that a new high-tech T-19 Pro Ravi tanks are now ready to be delivered to the front. State-owned tank manufacturer receives feedback from Russian soldiers on the preliminary performance of its products. Therefore, the company announced that the new batch of tanks was assembled according to their requirements at the front and their combat experience in Ukraine. In addition, Russia put its submarines in the Black Sea into attack positions. It is reported that the submarines are currently deployed in the south of the Crimean Peninsula, and the possibility of an attack in the region is increasing. According to the information source Overtures, at least 3 submarines of the Black Sea Fleet of the Russian Navy left Novorossiysk in the Black Sea waters. It is known that at the moment 3 submarines of the Varshavyanka project and the Peter Morganov landing craft have departed from the base of the Russian Navy in Novorossiysk. In this context, the Deputy Chief of the Main Operations of the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, Brigadier General Alexei Hromov, announced that the Russian army plans to launch large-scale missile attacks on the Zaporizhzhia region and other southern regions. In parallel with Hromov's statements, British Defense Intelligence made similar claims. British intelligence reported that the Russian Federation strengthened its defense with paratroopers, and fierce clashes continued near Solder and Kreminna for the last 2 days. British intelligence reported that since the beginning of January 2023, Russia has deployed the 76th Air Force Battalion to reinforce the Kreminna front line, after assessing the sector as significantly vulnerable. This signals that Russia intends to launch a major offensive against the Ukrainian army. In this context, the allies of the Ukrainian army also took action. Polish President Duda officially announced the transfer of 10 Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. At the meeting of the leaders of Poland, Lithuania and Ukraine, the President of Poland Andrzej Duda officially announced that Poland will supply Ukraine with a company Leopard 2 tanks. In addition to Poland, Pakistan is in the process of delivering 159 containers of ammunition to Ukraine, including artillery shells and loads of shells. This is not Pakistan's first aid to Ukraine. Pakistan had previously assisted in arms procurement in partnership with the United Kingdom. I would like to thank both countries for their friendly attitude towards the Ukrainian army. Victory to Ukraine. We will continue to monitor the world and especially Ukraine. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We have reached the end of another video. You can support us by liking the video. You can easily follow new videos by subscribing. I wish you all a war-free day. See you.